Officer, I go tell you everything.
Wait,
Now my friend, I deceived me.
like seriously?
You just stop play, bro.
In Delta
You just stop
State?
play. I go carry you invest. I don't do
Wait.
anything concerned.
You know, there are some videos you watch for information, and there are some you avoid. You just intentionally avoid to watch them because you already know they will stay with you. You know what those kind of videos, you know what they will do to you. And this video, this one, belongs to the latter. A young man in his prime, handcuffed, defenseless, pleading. Officer, I beg, I go tell you everything. Now my friend, Naim deceive me. He disapele, bros, he disapele. I go carry you go in place. I beg, he disapele. I don't know anything. I beg. Those were his words. And they were definitely not the words of a man resisting arrest. Those were the words of a human being trying to stay alive. That detail alone, the pleading, I will take you to him, should disturb any sane person. And yet, in broad daylight, with witnesses, with phones recording, with the full confidence of a man who clearly believed nothing will happen to him. A police officer loaded his weapon in broad daylight with phones recording and ended that life. Let us pause there. I need us to pause. Because before arguments begin, you know Nigerians love to argue. Nigerians are very, very good at argument. They love to know why things should have been like this, why things shouldn't have been like this, before they bring in tribe, before they politicize it, before people start asking whether the victim was guilty or not, because these are talking points. Let us ask a more human question. Let us behave as humans for once. Let us ask a human question. Who gave that officer the right to decide who lives and who dies? Who gave him the right? Because the last time I checked, the Nigerian Constitution did not appoint the police as gods. A police officer is not a judge. He's not a jury. And he's not an executioner. The duty of a police is to arrest, investigate, protect life. Their job is due process. That is their duty, due process. To maintain law and order, not roadside execution. Even if that young man was guilty, let's just assume for a moment, let's assume for a second that he was really guilty. What was his guilt to even start with? Even if he was guilty, why unalive the key suspect? Before due process, why unalive your key suspect? Why silence the very person who could lead you to the supplier? The only person who could lead you to the accomplices. The owner of the firearm. He said the owner of the firearm is in Saple, right? The larger criminal network. He said, I can take you there. Why destroy your own investigation? I mean, help me understand. Make it make sense. Unless justice was never the goal, Apparently, it doesn't seem justice was the goal. Justice was never the goal in the first place. If not, why destroy your own investigation? And this is where this whole thing becomes even darker. Because extrajudicial killing is not just brutality. It is institutional failure. It means that something is wrong in the system. It means even the state no longer trusts law, so it replaces the law with bullets. It means evidence becomes unnecessary, trial becomes optional, and suspicion becomes a death sentence. Today it is called a suspect, right? Tomorrow it becomes mistaken identity. Next week it becomes your own brother. Your own brother, while you sit and argue whether he was guilty or not, tomorrow it may become your own brother or the person you know. This is why we are angry. This is why people are angry. This is why we are angry, because we know this script too well. And that is exactly why many Nigerians no longer see the police as protection. We don't trust the police. They keep telling us, trust the police. The police is your friend. How is that man the friend of that victim he took his life? We don't see them as protection. We see them as lottery, where your life depends on which uniformed ego stops you that day. That's how we see the police. Now, let me say something that you may not want to hear. Let me bring this in. Let me just chip this in, okay? When a white police officer unalives a black man in America or Europe, we rage. We rage, and rightly so. We call it racism, systemic violence. We call it dehumanization. We march. Black Lives Matters. We disturb the streets, gather. We post. We demand justice. And we should. Of course, we should. That is what we should do. We should demand justice. But when the same violence happens in our countries, when a black police officer executes a black Nigerian on Nigerian soil, we suddenly become lawyers for brutality. We start to analyze why the police had the reason to take a life. We ask, what did he do? Maybe he was guilty. Maybe the officer had his reasons. Why not try to hear from the police officer? No reason whatsoever gives any police officer the right to publicly execute a handcuffed man anywhere in the world. Not in Europe, not in America, not in Africa, not in Nigeria, not in Ghana, nowhere in the world. Now, this is not to downplay or excuse foreign racism. I'm not trying to say most of those cases are not tied to racism or they are not related to racism. No. But this is to let us not normalize domestic cruelty. Because the moment a handcuffed man can be executed in public while begging for his life, and society debates whether he deserves mercy or not, then we are no longer discussing crime. We are no longer discussing crime. We are discussing the collapse of humanity. Where did our humanity go? What happened to us? The law exists precisely for the guilty, in case you don't know, because innocence does not need protection. The law exists for the guilty. Justice is tested by how we treat the accused, not how we mourn the dead. The law exists for the guilty. So again, the question is not whether he was innocent or not. The question is simple. Who gave the police the right to publicly execute a restrained citizen on his own soil? And if your answer is silence, then none of us are safe.